Just a heads up that the House of Lords hasn't given up on its quest to stop Brexit, and neither have a number of members of Parliament. So I told you yesterday about the bill that's going through Parliament and is expected to go into its second reading on the 11th of May, so that's this week, and that bill is talking about a second referendum. And the referendum will be to decide on whether the people want the exit deal that's achieved or not, which just brings up so many questions. I mean, first of all, how many referendums exactly are we going to have, and who gets to decide when we finally got the right answer? And secondly, what if the European Union know very well that if they give us a bad deal, the British people will vote against the bad deal, and then we'll just stay in the European Union? I mean, all these things that are being done in Parliament, in the House of Lords, the House of Commons, are being done to undermine our ability to negotiate properly with the European Union. I mean, it's my opinion that we stop negotiating at this point and just bloody well leave. But obviously what's being done here is trying to undermine our negotiating capabilities. And there's a story here in the BBC. Brexit peers call for UK to remain in the European Economic Area. Sounds a lot like the EEC when we first joined this whole thing. It's just scaling it back a little bit and saying we're not technically in the EU, kind of like Switzerland, but really we are. The article says the House of Lords has backed calls for the UK to effectively remain in the EU single market after Brexit. An amendment to the EU withdrawal bill obliging the UK to stay in the European Economic Area after it leaves the EU in 2019 was backed by 245 votes to 218. This was despite neither the government nor the Labour leadership backing it. So what we're seeing here is that the House of Lords really is a being in itself. It's neither Labour nor Tory, and it's certainly not democratic. Now, here's the thing. When I say it's not democratic, I mean really, what I'm really saying is it's not representing the will of the people, and that's important. It should do. Where I differ on some people is I don't think we should abolish the House of Lords. I think we should return the House of Lords back to the days of the hereditary peers. There is a bill going through Parliament this week as well, which I mentioned yesterday, that's aiming to get rid of all remaining hereditary peers, which I think is scandalous. What I would like to see is a House of Lords that counterbalances the madness from the elected chamber in the House of Commons, because there are some mental cases. I mean, Anna Soubry, MP, who's warned that she could quit the party if there was a hard Brexit. She says here, and it's in the BBC article in a tweet, Parliament is finally taking control of Brexit and is seeing off a minority of ideologically driven hard Brexiteers. Well, they're a minority in the Parliament, but they're not a minority in the public. By whatever name or device, there's a growing all-party consensus in both houses to ensure UK retains benefits of single market and customs union after we leave the EU. Well, I'm very sorry, Anna Soubry, but that's not the decision that the people made. And when I see the House of Commons packed to the rafters, with full of these members of Parliament who don't give a damn about what's, what the general public are thinking, it makes me think, well, if only we had hereditary peers who had historic links to the lands and the people they represent, who are naturally a more conservative counterbalance to the madness that ends up in the House of Commons. If only we had a hereditary House of Lords tackling this insanity, then we wouldn't be having these problems. Not only would we not have a House of Lords voting against the Commons, but we might have a House of Lords that put amendments into the EU withdrawal bill that actually made it a better piece of legislation. But nope, for as long as we have a House of Lords that is packed full of business people and former members of Parliament and friends of the Conservatives and Labour Party, as long as that exists, Brexit's not going to happen. And this is a line that I'm increasingly becoming to believe is actually Brexit's not going to happen, not just because of the House of Lords messing it about, but Brexit won't happen for as long as the European Union exists. Maybe we need to take down the entire European Union before we can even think about Brexit. If you want to see more from me and the rest of the Rebel team, remember to download our app on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, and like and subscribe.